Hello and welcome to Legal Angle. We have a legal advocate on board, Mr. Ameet Mehta. He is one of the most eminent legal advocates in the legal domain of our country. He is also known to be an author, a writer for various books like Conveyance Deed and the famous book Stamp Duty Ready Reckoner. An engineering by graduate, also an MBA in finance from Leeds University, London, with over 17 years of work experience in the legal domain of real estate. Well, our dear viewers, last time and many more episodes we have spoken about redevelopment. But in this episode, we are going to talk about self-redevelopment. Hello and welcome to the show, sir.
Hi.
The first question for today's issue is, can you tell us what is self-redevelopment?
Basically, the process of redevelopment has been divided into two types of redevelopment. One is called self-redevelopment, one is called redevelopment through a developer. Okay. In self-redevelopment, the society becomes a contractor. Okay. The society becomes the architect. The society becomes a monetary agency. Correct. And the society becomes the purchaser and the seller of the entire property. So basically self-development is all related to where the society is members and the office bearers. They become the part and parcel as a developer to develop the entire property. In self-development, while there are a lot of hurdles, but it's not a very bad process, but you require a lot of involvement and it's very time consuming. So self-development is good process, but it is very time consuming for the members to give time because they are themselves responsible for monitoring the project or execution of the project as well.
So the entire execution of the project will be taken by the members of the society who will take a decision of going into a self-redevelopment.
Absolutely.
Well, viewers, redevelopment will be taken care by the builders and self-redevelopment will be taken by the members of the society. So it takes me to my next question. What will be the role of project management consultancy when it comes to a self-redevelopment project?
Yeah, his role will be similar to what we are going to do in redevelopment process. But in self-redevelopment process, the role of the PMC becomes more critical. Okay. Because there you have when you go for redevelopment process, the developer and the PMC both are technically sound enough to execute the project. Here, the society is the developer here. So the society and the PMC, they both are monitoring the project. So the role of the PMC, who is the architect of the project, it becomes very critical for him to monitor the project. So PMC is nothing but the group of engineers and the architects who are going to execute the project.
Okay, so technically, viewers, it's just going to become a very lengthier process when the PMC is going to come on board and when you become a self-redevelopment member to construct your own society. So it takes me to my next question when it comes to how are the finances work behind when it comes to self-redevelopment projects?
See, basically, when you go to a regular process of redevelopment, there the developer would give you a bank guarantee. In this case, there is no one who is going to give you a bank guarantee.
Okay.
It's purely going to be the society who is dependent on its own. So they approach the bank. After approaching the bank, they decide that if the bank is going to fund this project.
I see.
Many of the societies take the funding of the banks, and the banks maybe fund up to 70 or 80% of the project. But they also keep the lien of the entire property till such time the sale component is sold off. Okay. So the finance through the banks is good option, but the banks would see the viability, and then the societies has to convince the bank that it's a viable option and they would get some good money out of this project.
What are the advantages of self-redevelopment project when it comes to financial institutions?
See, if you go for self-redevelopment, there are two great advantages. Okay. That goes without saying. One is you may make good money. What the profit the developer is going to earn, the full profit now the society is going to earn. That's the first benefit. The second benefit is the involvement as far as the quality is concerned. When I am going to supervise and monitor my own house, my own building, I would obviously ensure that all the best things happen in my building. So that's a very big advantage as far as the self-redevelopment is concerned. Unlike, I'm not saying the developers may not be focusing on quality, but then I am focusing and monitoring my own property and someone else doing, there's a lot of difference. So I think that's a good option if the societies want to go for a self-redevelopment. These are two great advantages they would get.
If you could also tell our viewers what could be the commercial aspect when it comes to self-redevelopment projects. To make my question even more precise, can they build a commercial hub within their project?
Yes, they can. Ultimately, the project has to be viable. Second is you have to see the viability of a commercial property in that geography. Supposedly you are going to a place like say Bandra, example. Correct. So Bandra, if you're on a main road, then the viability will be very different. Vis-a-vis if you go to Andheri into a suburb somewhere in JP Road or somewhere, then the viability of that particular commercial area would be little different.
Correct.
So it all depends upon what is the viability, it depends upon the geography and what location are you situated in the part of the city.
So dear viewers, the managing partner of Solis' Lex, Mr. Ameet Mehta, is suggesting if you're going for a self-redevelopment project, it's a residential, and if you want to build something commercial, you need to study the geographical area of that place. Also, it takes me to another question. Can they build amenities like swimming pools, gardens, sort of schools? Can they build a township within the area that they are considering?
This is nothing to do with redevelopment or self-development.
Okay.
It all depends upon what is the amenities the members of the society require. But let me alert everyone. If the members are going to choose an option of having a clubhouse, a swimming pool, or a state-of-art gym, the amenities are going to work on the basis of per square feet area, and that would give a huge maintenance cost.
Okay.
So if you're going to have all these amenities like swimming pool, etc., then you need to also need to work out. Suppose you're paying say 4 rupees today per square feet as a maintenance per square feet.
Correct.
Possibility is that it will be 8 or 10 rupees after the building is redeveloped. So you need to be very careful about designing the amenities of the building.
So dear viewers, if you go for a self-redevelopment project, you got to be very aware. You got to be very, very aware of the maintenance cost that is going to occur once the amenities come on board. So it takes me to my next question. How are the processes of OC when it comes to self-redevelopment project?
See, where the society has to appoint an architect or a PMC for the project. The primary purpose of appointing an architect is to liaise with all the government authorities to get the licenses. Now the licenses may include like IOD, CC, that is a commencement certificate, the OC, that is the occupation certificate, the chief fire officer, that is CFO certificate, the lift inspector certificate, the various building proposal plans certification from the municipality.
So technically all the kinds of processes
Absolutely.
which a redevelopment building has to go through.
But now the task is that who is going to monitor? The monitoring part is going to be looked after the members of the society.
Okay.
Unlike in redevelopment, the developer looks after this.
Correct.
So I think it's a humongous task. It's a
Correct.
very delicate task. And there are some monies which are involved, which you need to pay at various agencies.
Okay.
That also has to be taken care by the society.
Okay.
Through the architect. So the architect would play a very critical role as far as getting the licenses are concerned, such as OC, etc.
We are going to take a short break and we are going to be back on sets with Mr. Ameet Mehta of Solis' Lex with a very interesting conversation, self-redevelopment. When it comes to a self-redevelopment project, how do the members work out on the area, or how do they work out on an extra space when it comes to all the members of a society?
So the architect, he at the start of the project makes a feasibility report.
Okay.
A feasibility report is the total financial viability of the entire project in terms of money, in terms of corpus, in terms of rent, and in terms of extra carpet area.
Welcome back. We are on sets with Mr. Ameet Mehta of Solis' Lex, and we have a very interesting conversation, self-redevelopment. In case of a self-redevelopment project, how is a corpus fund provided to the members?
See, in the regular process of redevelopment, where a developer is taking charge of the entire redevelopment process,
Absolutely.
he pays the corpus,
Correct.
he pays the rent, which is normally called the displacement charges.
Correct.
The rent is called displacement charges, and the corpus is called hardship compensation, because there is a involvement of tax. So that's why these words are used. Shifting charges, the bank guarantee, the power of attorney, all these things. Now when you go for self-redevelopment, these items are deleted because the profit is going to be with the members only. So they technically don't get anything upfront. So what they in the process of self-redevelopment, they decide they have a corpus kept for themselves. Okay, they redistribute among all the members, and they go on their own outside on rent. There is no corpus involved. So when the project is completed and they get the money from the sale component, that amount is now distributed among all the members.
So it's technically divided after
There
the
is a profit division. It's a profit division of the end of the project. So
Okay.
upfront, before the start of the project, they get nothing.
They get
Because ultimately it's their own money which they are going to invest, and they are going to get on their own.
on their own.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sir, then how does a rent facility works when it comes to a self-redevelopment project?
No, people will have to spend on their own. There is no option. See, they have the liberty to go any part and any geography of the city.
Correct.
They may, try to go to a economical place where they can save money for themselves.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, if a developer is paying, they would try to see in the most upmarket place,
Correct.
which can be affordable, what the amount they are getting from the developer vis-a-vis what they are going to spend.
Correct. So now when it comes to a redevelopment project or a redevelopment builder, usually if it's a 1 BHK, he gives another BHK for free, or he may give another area, which is a little larger compared to the existing one. When it comes to a self-redevelopment project, how do the members work out on the area, or how do they work out on an extra space when it comes to all the members of a society?
See, the extra area what you're talking is called fungible FSI.
Correct.
Fungible FSI on an average across the city is about 35%. So depends upon geography, it may be even 10%, it may be even 20%, it may even go to up to 40-45% also.
Absolutely.
In certain geographies. Now, that extra area is now going to be for themselves only.
Absolutely.
So the architect, he at the start of the project makes a feasibility report.
Okay.
A feasibility report is the total financial viability of the entire project in terms of money, in terms of corpus, in terms of rent, and in terms of extra carpet area. Okay. So what FSI is available on the plot and what is the potential FSI, that combination sheet is worked out by the architect.
Okay.
And that architect submits this report to the members of society, who then in turn approves it in the general body meeting.
Correct.
So that is where the benefit is there, that extra area what they are going to get, that is going to be for themselves only. Vis-a-vis in the other projects where a developer is going to develop, the developer has the right to sell their extra areas.
Absolutely.
Here everything is for themselves only, so they have all the right to sell the extra area.
So you as a managing partner of Solis's Lex have many projects under you. So can you give us an example of some redevelopment project and a self-redevelopment project that you've been working on personally?
We have a couple of projects going on for redevelopment also.
Correct.
Of course, redevelopment we have more than 600 societies right now in Mumbai.
Wonderful.
But for self-development we just have about 6 or 7 projects. But we see what is the hardships the members face. As per my knowledge, as of now, I don't have any major project which are in huge size as far as self-development is concerned. I think most of the projects which are there, which are very minuscule nature, maybe 10 members, 20 members like these. So the challenges are less, though the challenges are going to remain in those projects. But vis-a-vis self-development, redevelopment projects are a major hit.
Correct.
Because here the entire scope and monitoring and supervision is done by the members of society. But in self-development project, we have a lot of challenges on a day-to-day basis. And who is going to monitor the quality of the product, who is going to monitor the quality of steel, the cement, ready-mix concrete, the SIP or X blocks, the amenities, the CP fitting, the sanitary ware, the curtains, the air conditioning, the plumbing and electrical equipments, all these things. So it's a major challenge for self-development project.
Self-redevelopment projects. So can you give us an example of some projects that are really stuck or in a very bad shape when it comes to self-redevelopment project?
Honestly, the projects which we are handling, none of them are stuck up.
Correct.
They are only delayed a little bit. The delay is purely due to the financial support from the banks. The release of the amount is done in phases. As and when the contractor gives his bill, then they send it to the bank. The bank pays off to the contractor. And then when his scope completes, the project management concern or the architect certifies that whatever scope was given to him has been completed. So we don't have any major projects where they are stuck up. They are delayed a little bit.
This calls for a very short break, sir. Well, dear viewers, you heard it. We're going to take one short break and we are going to be back. Please do not go anywhere because we have a very interesting topic, self-redevelopment. What are your views and suggestions, also your recommendations when it comes to a self-redevelopment project?
Number one, you should have enough finances. Secondly, because you require people giving a lot of time, because ultimately you yourself are a developer also, you also are the person who is going to monitor and supervise the project. So my recommendation, if you are fulfilling these aspects, then there is no problem in you going for self-development.
Project. Welcome back. We are on sets with Mr. Ameet Mehta of Solis's Lex, who has a presence pan-India and international. We are discussing a very interesting topic, self-redevelopment. What are the procedures of stamp duty registration when it comes to a self-redevelopment project?
I'll give you a comparison, so it will be very easier for the viewers to understand.
Absolutely.
In the regular redevelopment procedure, when the developer makes an agreement, he tells the members to go to the sub-registrar's office,
Correct.
Go and adjudicate the figures, okay, how much is the stamp duty which is likely to be paid,
Correct.
and post that the sub-registrar's office issues a certificate. This is the amount which you have to pay. Okay, now if there is a fungible FSI, the amount is free of cost, so you don't have to pay anything as stamp duty because that amount, that area you're getting free of cost. But if you're buying extra space on and above your flat, on what you are eligible, then you have to pay the stamp duty on that part. That's the difference of the amount.
Okay.
Now, there the developer's person, he will come with the member of the society, he'll pay the stamp duty, register it, and the subject ends there.
Okay.
Now, in the self-development process, what happens? You don't have any development agreement, or you don't have any agreement with the developer. You yourself the developer.
Oh.
You yourself are a person who is developing a building. So what happens? They have a agreement which is with the contractor. Okay. They go to the sub-registrar's office. In the sub-registrar's office, they adjudicate the value of the property. Okay. The architect gives what is the extra area which they are eligible free of cost. The area on which it is free of cost, they don't have to pay anything. But the over and above what they are eligible for, they have certain sale component which they are apportioning for themselves.
Okay.
On that amount, they have to pay the stamp duty and get it registered.
And get it registered.
Yes.
Sir, also can you talk about the conveyance when it works to a self-redevelopment project?
See, you have to start a project only after the conveyance is there in the name of a society.
Absolutely.
That goes without saying.
Correct.
But many properties have a leasehold right. There is a difference between leasehold and a freehold
And a
right.
freehold,
Yeah.
correct.
So in the leasehold right, you have to go and get your name inserted in the PR card. That is a property registration card, stating that I am a lessee on this project. Okay, and my name should be here. That is the conveyance with the leasehold rights. So once the conveyance is given, then only you can start the project.
So, sir, what are your views and suggestions, also your recommendations when it comes to a self-redevelopment project?
See, self-redevelopment project is not bad idea as far as redevelopment process is concerned.
Correct.
But there are primarily three important aspects that you should take care of before entering into this process of self-redevelopment. Number one, you should have enough finances, because you should not get stuck up and the project should not get stopped somewhere if you don't have finances.
Correct.
That's first. Secondly, at least some members in the society should be able to give and devote a lot of time. Because you require people giving a lot of time, because ultimately you yourself are a developer also. You also are the person who is going to monitor and supervise the project. There's the second aspect. And third is involve as many professionals as possible. At least if you have some few professionals within the society also, then it's a nice idea, because they will be giving a lot of time and energy,
Correct.
monitoring the project.
Correct.
So if you have an architect, you have a lawyer in the society, you have a project management consultant in the building, or you have a RCC consultant, or a small time contractor or builder who is staying in the building,
Correct.
then it's a nice idea to go for this procedure. So my recommendation, if you are fulfilling these aspects, then there is no problem in you going for self-redevelopment.
Self-redevelopment project.
Yeah.
So, dear viewers, you've heard it from the managing partner of Solis's Lex. You need three important criterias or three important factors when you go for a self-redevelopment project. One being finances. You need to have strong finances on your board. Second being, you need to have professionals on board. Am I right? Professionals on board. And third being, you need to have the strength and capacity when it comes to a self-redevelopment project. How many floors can the members construct when it comes to a self-redevelopment project?
See, it is not how many floors. It is about what is the FSI which has been utilized as of now,
Okay.
and what is the potential FSI available on this plot today.
Okay.
If supposedly you utilize say 1.5 FSI when this building was reconstructed maybe 20 or 30 years before.
Correct.
And the potential FSI is about say 2.7. Plus you have a little bit of road FSI, you can utilize Nala, Tedbit area. So it may go up to 3. So if you have say upon example 1.5 FSI still available, then you can go up to 15 floors, 21 floors, 22 floors. An average building in Mumbai, they can go up to 18 to 22 floors anywhere in Mumbai.
Okay.
But it is all related to the FSI available on that plot.
Okay.
And what is the FSI that you can still utilize
Correct.
based on that. If there are certain projects, you can even load extra TDR on that. So
Sir, I was going to come on the TDR bit in my next question. So yes, you may have to need to stress on TDR also.
Yeah, you can purchase the extra TDR.
Correct.
Supposedly your original plan is of say 18 floors. Okay, and the project is not becoming so viable for the society or the developer.
Absolutely.
Then you go and purchase extra TDR from the market. The average rate today is anywhere between 3,500 to 5,000 per square feet. So you purchase that, load in the name of the society, and then construct the extra floors of the building.
So dear viewers, we have heard it here from the managing partner of Solis's Lex, Mr. Ameet Mehta. So thank you for being with us on the show and spending your crucial time with us.
Thank you so much.
Until we meet again, dear viewers, you can write to us or mail, or you can call us on the email IDs mentioned at the bottom of our screen, and also call us till we meet again. Goodbye, take care, and God bless.